If you enjoyed this video, then I'd really appreciate it if you go ahead and hit the like button. And if you really enjoyed this video and you want to see more, then join the 6-1 Clicks by clicking the subscribe button and don't miss a single episode of Model Behavior. Hello Marvelous Legends, look at this. I've been playing around with my setup. I have a table, like not a drawing table, but a playing table. I am going to do the top 10 D-list villains, my legion of losers, if you will. Before I do though, I just want to say thank you so much to everyone who's been subscribing recently. I'm nearly up to 400 subscribers, that's so awesome. And with that in mind, just like I did with number 300, number 400, whoever you are out there in the ether, whoever gets to be my 400th subscriber, you will have the opportunity to nominate any kind of video that you want, be it a top 10, a review, a retrospective, whoever it is that just happens to click subscribe and is number 400, I'll shoot you a message and you can nominate what the next episode of Model Behavior will be. In the meantime though, my legion of losers, my top 10 D-list villains. So, let's go for it. So, coming in first, at number 10, we have hard as marble, cold as ice, Tombstone. Now, what do I love about this figure? First of all, the face sculpt is really, really good. I think they captured this maniacal, evil grin. What I love about the character of Tombstone is that he's just a dick. You know, he's kind of a mob, not even a mob boss. He's a mob boss wannabe, and I like the wannabe characters. I like the also-rans, the guys who, you know, are trying to get to that number one spot. But, you know, not, just like they say in wrestling, not everyone can be in the main event. Some guys have to be jerking the curtain. And Tombstone, in the grand scheme of things, as far as mob characters are concerned, I would say he's kind of, you know, mid-card. He's a mid-carder, but he's always striving for greatness. Now, this is Tombstone in his very sort of early look, which, I mean, early look is not like retro. I think Tombstone debuted around like the late 80s. So, you know, he's not like a super sort of, you know, 60s vintage looking character, but they still have a slightly quirky kind of design. They've gone for this sort of Dracula cape collar sort of thing here. I guess like with the Tombstone gimmick, they want to have that kind of, you know, gothic kind of Dracula look. So he has, yeah, the popped collar, which looks fun, and then he's got his 80s glam metal open chest, the studs around the belt, they look really great. Again, beautifully well sculpted on here as well. He's got his gloves with like the biker gloves. He really is well put together and all topped off. What do I love more than anything? I was about to say I love a good facial more than anything. A good facial expression on a figure. This nails it. No lifeless expressions. This is good, smiling, mean look. I really love that they included him in the Spider-Man game. It was a very different version of Tombstone though. It wasn't this guy, but yeah, this is a lot of fun. As a figure, he has some flaws in that this is it. You're seeing the whole figure. No accessories, no different heads, no different hands, nothing to kind of like play about with, you know, so no added value. So added value gets a D as well for my first member of the D list, but hey, look at him. He deserves a spot right here. So there we go. Tombstone kicking us off. Coming in at number 9, I'm going to try not to ramble too long, so I don't want this to be an epic video for you poor guys. We have the original Beetle, Abner Jenkins, and what is not to like about this figure? Well, actually, a couple of things, but I'll go with what I love. Look at these wings. Look at how gorgeous this is. These have been reused a lot for Wasp and the other Lady Beetle, but you know, Abner Jenkins, I think, just looks so good with the light shining through these. This is a figure that benefits from sunlight because you've got the metallic. Oh, I love metallics. Shiny green metallic, shiny green purple. There's just so much that will reflect off of this, as you can see from this video. I hope this doesn't make it a bad video because there's too much light reflecting off of it. But yeah, I love what they've done here. I love the sort of the Beetle carapace here, which you can move around. You can fold the wings down and fold them up. There's a lot of sort of toyetic fun to be had with this. And I love the Beetle. I love his sort of character arc. In the comics, I love characters that change and evolve. He was a loser villain, such a loser. One of my first Spider-Man comics was Spider-Man in issue, I think, Spectacular, where he fights the Beetle, and basically the Beetle is just running from him the whole time, like running away from Spider-Man. This isn't like black suit symbiote badass Spider-Man, this is just regular Spider-Man. And at one point, Beetle like dives into a smokestack, I think, and he's like huddled up in the smokestack, just going like, please don't let him find me, please don't let him find me. It's like, oh dude. Oh, you gotta have some self-respect. The figure, like Tombstone, doesn't really have any accessories, but then again, he's got all of this anyway. Some different hands would be quite nice. But also, speaking of the character arc and the character change, you know, he then goes on to reform and become Mach 1. So you have this wonderful sort of, yeah, it's a character arc. You know, people can change, grow, and he goes from being a loser to being a hero. And that's really, really great. One thing I will say is that the joints on this particular figure are a little bit loose. So, yeah, let's see if he stands up. But right now, number 10, number 9, let's keep on going. Number 8. One of my new additions. Nuke. Okay, so also, this is a little insight. I chose my 10 characters, I put a lot of thought into choosing the 10, but I didn't put a lot of thought into the top 10 order. So I'm kind of like, I might reshuffle and rejig things as we go, we'll see. So this is like an evolving video. So Nuke here, as I said with my unboxing, there's so much to love about this figure. The stars and stripes on the face, just look, he looks kind of crazy. And again, he's got the crazy grimacing expression as well. The other head, oh, you see, you get big points for a figure that has alternate heads. The other head with the Terminator ripped away flesh and the cyborg underneath, oh, that looks so good. Problem is though, they chose to make that head bald, which is fine. I guess that's how the character looks sometimes, but I like the hair. So yeah, this just has everything I want. He's got the gun of the Comedian. The Comedian figure has this like sort of futuristic looking machine gun kind of thing, which I think looks better than the gun he came with. So my symbiote hunter Eddie Brock has the original Nuke gun, but also he's got the knife, the removable knife. Oh, removable weapons, it's just like, it's so much fun, it's toyetic, it adds more to it. So Nuke, big chunky figure on the Hyperion mold that everyone except me seems to hate, but you can't really tell because he's wearing the jacket. So Nuke is going to do very well here, and I call him D-list. If you don't think any of these characters are D-list, then let me know, you know, fight for their corner. But my one appearance of Nuke that I read was in The Death of Wolverine, and he shows up at the start, and like he's looking to kind of collect the bounty on Wolverine, but like, he's kind of fat, he's got like a roid belly, as OS Dub would say, and he, reading an interview with the penciler said, like, I wanted to draw him like a pro wrestler who was past his prime and kind of let himself go, and that's how he looks. So that's why I'll always associate him as D-list, but let me know if you think any of these D-list classifications are unfair, alright? So, 10, 9, 8... 7 is Speed Demon. Again, a member of the Superior Foes. I was going to say again because I was thinking of Beetle, but no, of course it's Lady Beetle in the Superior Foes. My brain saw Beetle green and purple and went, oh, Superior Foes. No, our first introduction to the Superior Foes. Why do I love this figure? Because it's bright and shiny, got the Thunderbolt detailing. It's a really basic paint job, but I love graphic design. I love the way colors can mesh and merge and complement each other. This dark blue with the red and the gold, it absolutely pops. It's really striking. This is a great achievement in graphic design, and I love it. Plus, he comes with the silver mane, which is just ridiculous and a lot of fun in his little go-kart, you know, remote-controlled car. No, he has different hands. He has his fisted hands, so that's good. I appreciate the different hands, and those hands are on Mach 1, because Mach 1 looks better with fist hands than with stupid, like, flippers that the figure has. I still need to come around on that figure. But, yeah, sorry, Anthony Jenkins, you're not getting much love. But yeah, Speed Demon with the goggles, the S-eaten grin on his face. Plus, as a running character, the fact that, see if you can actually pose, the fact that I can normally pose him in a running sort of stance. There you go. That looks pretty good. I'm very, very happy with that. Coming up next, we have another recent unboxing. Grey Gargoyle. Now, you see, I didn't think this through too much. I got to reach around these characters. Grey Gargoyle. I just recently read the Sins Rising arc in Spider-Man where he appears, and I don't want to give any spoilers, but that's the first comic story that I've read with Grey Gargoyle, and they do some really big like character changes and adjustments. Obviously nothing is permanent in comics, things can always change, but it's really interesting the angle that they've done with the Sin Eater. If you're not reading Amazing Spider-Man, read Amazing Spider-Man, and especially with random inclusions from D-list villains like the Legion of Losers. Grey Gargoyle, he's got the translucent cape, he's got like, the figure has sort of like, they mixed into the, almost like they mixed into the syrup that made this character, like little flecks and specks, so he looks like he's made out of stone. It's really, really well done. Plus the ridiculous raccoon mask that he wears, the little wispy moustache, he looks like such a dweeb, and I love it. Also, one thing I was kind of pleasantly surprised with, he has the ability to turn people into stone by touch, and I was like, that's a very sort of nasty kind of power. It's like, you're killing people with a touch, you're turning them into stone. I was like, you're too much of a goofball to be murdering people all the time. And then I saw in Spider-Man, like, it's not permanent. Like, he'll turn them to stone, and then eventually, like, they'll sort of crack out of it. I'm like, oh, okay, you're not like that threatening. Coming up next, we have the Shocker. Now, so many things to like about this character. First of all, he's in the comics, he's written again as like a kind of a B-list. Yeah, no, that's generous. He is kind of C-D list, but it depends on who writes him. Because there's actually been some Shocker stories where an artist just goes, you know what? I'm gonna rehab the Shocker, and they'll write him as like a real badass, and that's kind of cool. Like, any character can have their moment depending on who's writing them to really shine, and Shocker occasionally gets his moments, but normally I love that he's just normally depicted as like a regular guy. He's a criminal, but he's a regular dude, and people will script conversations with him. There was one conversation, I can't remember what comic it was, but he was just talking with Boomerang about voting, and how, like, even though people are supervillains, they should still vote because that's democracy, and whether or not you commit crimes, you still believe in democracy and how the world should work, and I like that. So Shocker also, I first saw Shocker in the Spider-Man cartoon, in the Venom saga, so I instantly cottoned on to him, and also as being a loser as well, because Spider-Man in the Venom symbiote just trashes him, Anyone who's seen that will always remember Peter Parker screaming, "Shocker! I'll hunt you to the ends of the earth!" And also, of course, he comes with the gorgeous blast effects here, which, have been overused so much, but they still look great. So I have one on this hand, and I have another one on X-Man, because that entire Age of Apocalypse wave is bereft of accessories. So he gets that one, and again, just one there looks kind of cool. So I'm down with that. We're making good progress. We're up to 15 minutes almost, but we're getting there. So coming up next, we have another member of the Lethal Legion of Losers, King Cobra. Now, I've only read one King Cobra appearance in the most recent Spider-Man, which is what, encouraged me to get this figure. But now, I'm such a collector. Now I'm like, I gotta get the rest of the Serpent Society. I gotta get Copperhead and the other guy, Benito Jimmy, whatever his name is. They look so stupid. The guy with the blue hat, and the guy with the like purple snake thing. Like, they just look so stupid. They look so stupid. This guy included, but it's a great kind of stupid, and shiny and metallic, so there's nothing wrong with that. He looks like Serpentor. He looks like he's Is that right? I don't really follow G.I. Joe, but I remember the Cobra guy, the Cobra la 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 guy with the Cobra on his head. But yeah, just as a goofball. Maybe like if you've read more of him in the comics, like maybe he's sort of super badass and I'm totally selling him short, but comment below, let me know. In the meantime though, until I #educate myself, he is definitely going in my D-list villains. Alright folks, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Top three D-list villains. So, kicking off, we have, and this might surprise you, we have Electro. And I know what you're thinking, like, Dave, Electro is a classic villain. He's not D-list. First of all, this is my video, so I can do whatever I want. But this version of Electro, this Electro from the late 90s, early 2000s with the bald head and the lightning bolt on the face, this was a character who was really at his lowest ebb, and it's so interesting to read that. This isn't the standard, just, generic bad guy Electro. This is an Electro who is like, he lost his powers and he felt kind of worthless because he defined himself by his powers. Folks, it's not what you have, it's what you do that counts. So that's a good lesson to learn. But I remember, I think it was Amazing Spider-Man 425 maybe, drawn by Steve Skroce, he's an artist who I hated at first, and now I absolutely adore his artwork. It's incredible. He storyboarded the original Matrix movies. It's stunning. But yeah, Electro gets like massively juiced up and powerful and like has a Barney with Spider-Man, but I can't remember exactly what happens, what the thought process was, but by the end of the fight, he eventually like has like a mental breakdown, is like in tears and just like crying his eyes out, and eventually like drops himself into the river and it's like a huge explosion. You're like, holy shit, did he just kill himself at the end of that? Like, of course it's comics, he comes back, but it's a really interesting character. It's like a character study of a guy who had power, lost it, regained it, and then realized that it didn't make him happy, because folks, money and power doesn't make you happy. Legends do. Also, what I kind of liked in the Spider-Man Marvel Knights series, they sort of expanded upon his character in his sexuality as well. They had kind of a throwaway sort of conversation where he's chatting to another supervillain about, Marvel Knights always tries to be like edgy and more sort of adult, and he's chatting to a supervillain about this like super-powered brothel that they go to, and he said that like one of the people there is a shapeshifter, and he's like, yeah, they can be whatever you want, male, female, this, that, and it's like, interesting, cool. There's some added like human wrinkles to Electro, because we're all human beings. We all, whatever floats your boat, different strokes for different folks. And I dig that they're like, yeah, these guys are super powered comic book criminals, but they're human beings. So yeah, everyone wants to be wanted. All right, top two. Don't know why I do throw up devil horns. All right. I knew that was gonna happen. That was you, Speed Demon. But don't worry, that's part of the fun. Actually, you guys can't see it, but I'm sort of sat underneath my collection. So I have the board, the shelf above my head. And when I was setting this up, did I stand up too quickly and bang my head and knock everything over? Yeah, I did. The lump on my head doesn't hurt. Just hearing the crash and crumble of everything falling down above me, I was like, oh, I don't want to see what it looks like. All right, number two. Can I get this in under 20 minutes? That would be impressive. Living Laser, another Legion of Losers. I've got all three Legion of Losers. I don't think I'll ever do a Count Nefaria figure. I say Legion of Losers like that is that their actual name, Lethal Legion. But these, I'm so happy I got these three. Again, you know me. What am I going to say I love about this figure? Translucent, bright, shocking pink. Coming from a Bret Hart fan, anything shocking pink is going to be my absolute jam. I love this. One thing surprisingly annoying, these thunderbolts, this lightning, so difficult to keep on his arms. They're always falling off, but I don't care. What I need to do is get him a flight stand, because I think he'll look really great with his feet pointed down and sort of, in flight, looking awesome. One problem though is, when he's in flight, if you have him like that, obviously with his awesome sort of head dome, you can't look up. So you might have to jig around with that a little bit. but it's fine, I'll forgive that, because the Buck being the Sunfire 2099 Spider-Man Buck looks great, really suits, you know, like kind of a thicker kind of figure, and yeah, just the detailing on the shoulders with the logo there. Yeah, I absolutely adore this figure, because again, he's bright, he jumps off the shelf. And finally, my number one D-list villain is Jackolantern. Oh yeah, I've got to be very careful. I can see his flight stand is slightly broken. So if I get to the end of this video and I can imagine falling back and just wrecking all these figures. But Jackolantern, first of all, Pumpkinhead. I love Halloween. I love pumpkin themed things. This whole Legend of Sleepy Hollow looking character, so great. I dig that so much. Plus, you've got the translucent flame effect and so many accessories as well. He's got the broom that he rides on, he's got the sickle. They went all out for this figure, and like, thank you. He's got, because this version, there's so many different Jack-o'-lanterns out there. This version is like a mercenary, so he's got you know, the commando straps with the grenades and the gadgets on there. There's so much going on. You can see the silver of the belt buckles and the details. They really put a lot of effort into this figure. And when, I think this is the version that appears in the Agent Flash Thompson Venom series, and in that, like, he is a badass. You know, I'm calling him D-list, but like, he wrecks shop in that. He is a huge threat and a nasty villain. And I love a good nasty villain. So you, Jack-o'-lantern, if you'll stand, will you forgive me for breaking your flight stand? Yes, there we go. You get pride of place as my number one D-list supervillain, or less than supervillain. Guys, 20 minutes, that's not too bad. Thanks for watching my top 10 D-list villains. And if you enjoyed this, click the like, I still forget which side it's on. Join the 6-1 Clicks by clicking a random subscribe button and a like button, because that kind of feedback, like algorithms and blah blah blah, I don't know how it works, but I'm trying to dominate the YouTube global landscape, so it's gonna take a few more subs to do that. So, and again, like I said, number 400, whoever you might be, you can expect a message from me, because I want you to nominate what my next video will be. In the meantime though, guys, thanks so much for watching. Keep displaying model behavior. I'll see you in the next video, and don't be articulate. If you enjoyed this video, then I'd really appreciate it if you go ahead and hit the like button. And if you really enjoyed this video and you want to see more, then join the 6-1 Clicks by clicking the subscribe button, and don't miss a single episode of Model Behavior.